Good morning. How are you today? I hope you are very well. I am here, and today is Monday, the 30th of October. I mean, the year is gone, and that's some sobering thought right there. I mean, just to imagine that we've gone to the end of the year, literally. And so the big question you're going to be asking yourself even now is, what have you done so far in order to bring about any form of achievement of whatever goals you set as you began 2023. So the big deal now for all of us here is, where are you now? What have you done so far? How much have you achieved? Have you been able to, meet your goals and put in place everything that you needed to put in place in order to progress? That's the big question. Now, must also thank everyone who's joining us this morning. Please tag somebody, remind somebody, do whatever it takes. Just let somebody know that we're on and let them come through. Today we have a very, very interesting topic. We're dealing with the topic of managing your brand. Why have I got the wrong notes up? Yeah, because today we're looking at brand awareness, but on my computer here it's showing me another topic, completely digital platform, which is something we handled last time. So that's certainly not the topic we're on today. We're looking at brand awareness. Now, one thing I must quickly mention also is we run these mentorship programs every single day, Monday to Friday. Now, let me stress a bit, because some people have been asking about, these mentoring, and I've been pointing them here, but I need to go a bit deeper. Mentoring requires a lot more than just following, but the truth of the matter is it's very involving. So we are not really able to do the one-on-one mentoring, except a place where somebody wants to pay for that service, for which we have platforms. But as we continue with the 730 Academy, we're going to build platforms, especially next year. We're going to create a special mentorship platform, which is going to actually take you much further than we're doing right now. Although, to be honest, we are loading and dropping here so much value that anybody who's serious enough to follow what we teach every day and literally make it a point to just be engaged, if they did so, I assure you, they would be able to gain so much just from what we teach every day here. So it's dependent really on your capacity to follow through, your capacity to give yourself assignments and push every aspect of this training for yourself, and you'll be able to benefit. But either way, we're going to have special platforms created in the near future that'll help you. So meantime, Mondays I come through here with Unleashing Your Destiny. Tuesdays we have Sunshine, Coach Sunshine Sylvia, who comes through with Mindset Change Program. And by the way, this Wednesday she has a very, very big event coming up. She's going to be launching something very exciting. I don't want to preempt anything, so I will allow her to explain a lot tomorrow. But just know that Mindset Change Program has just gone into overdrive. There's some very exciting developments that are going on. And Wednesday, which is her birthday, by the way, she's also going to be gifting Zambia, if you like, with this particular program, the Mindset Change Program, whose aim and goal is obviously mindset change, transformation of the mind. That's the big deal. Wednesdays, we have open market. So this Wednesday, we'll probably be highlighting what's coming from the Monday and Tuesday, of course, especially the Tuesday. Then on Thursday, we have Dr. Nelly with Prosperity for Your Soul. She's very deep in that space. Then Friday, we have Doc Jackie with Health Tips. And so today, I'm looking at brand awareness, and brand awareness comes on the back of a very, very good topic we handled, which was the topic of digital platforms. A lot of people are not taking advantage of just how powerful this platform we've been blessed with, this platform that we operate on now, which is the internet and all its intricacies. People haven't been able to leverage this properly. I mean, one of the things we're just amused with my wife, we were just chatting just now, we're just talking, like on video call, just before I started this call, and she's all the way in the US, specifically Texas, and she was wishing our son the best in his exams. As you know, this is the week for the grade 7 exam, so you can imagine, and we were just amused and saying, this stuff, this technology we're using, this is witchcraft, this is sorcery, because if you went with this 100 years ago, people would be bamboozled. 100 years is even too much, just one, but like is even too soon. Go 200 years ago and everybody would be like absolutely stunned. But that's the power of technology. So in brand awareness, we're going to show you how you leverage technology to enhance your brand. And this has direct dividends on your earnings as an individual. So tell somebody to tell somebody that they need to be on this call. And by the way, remember, even if for some reason you get cut off, these recordings remain on these platforms and you can take advantage. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember, as always, to subscribe and to like the video, and where possible, click the notifications button so that you don't miss any. So you could get all notifications or some notifications, but do so that you stay connected. So Jane Banda, that's not a real name, by the way, was really looking forward on being picked for a new management position that had opened up in an exciting field she had always admired. Now, the company itself was a multinational with offices in all the 5 continents. Now, furthermore, the last assessment had yielded a very positive feedback from all panelists, and that was further confirmed by calls from 2 key persons in the same company, assuring her just how excited they were about her coming to join them. Now, it therefore came as a shock for Jane when she instead received an email indicating that they would no longer be considering her for the position anymore due to information they had not previously been aware of, but that jeopardized her chance for recruitment. Now, as you can imagine, Jane was undisappointed in the turn of events and wondered what it is that the company had discovered that changed their resolution so quickly. Now, it was only after making further inquiries that someone let her in on why this is the case. Apparently, it turned out that her social media account was full of her strong and opinionated rants about a particular political party within the country, and had on several occasions strongly differed with those with opposing views from her own. And to make matters worse, she had even been on record insulting the head of state on a number of her posts, as well as on various threads. You know where I'm going with this, right? She was, as you can imagine, very upset with this situation, but it did indeed cost her an opportunity and chance to advance her career. When she asked why her personal views would be an issue, the information told her was that the company needed to make headways in the country, and the last thing they needed was a political activist in their top management. This, my friends, served as a huge lesson for her. And as you can imagine, she was, like I said, whether we like it or not, your personal brand perception will always be affected by what you project to the public. I'm going to say that again. Your personal brand perception will always be affected by what you project to the public. I wish I could say that the 3rd time. This sticks and makes a huge difference, okay? It makes a huge difference. Sorry, I just need to get rid of some of these banners. Just give me a second. Let's get rid of that. So you have to understand that when it comes to this work we do, personal brand and everything about the brand, you have to be mighty careful how you project yourself out there. You see, I'll say this. Whatever you believe or do not believe is immaterial. As long as you push this particular projection, it sticks. Okay, so it is true when they say that value is perceived. Okay, therefore, whatever you project is what people use as a gauge to determine what they think about you and what they are willing to pay in exchange for what you bring on. I just lost. Okay, my signal is back. The signal gone. So then, personal branding is your personal public reputation and how you are viewed by the outside world. I mean, that is such a powerful point. I am going to literally paste it in the comments. I'm going to say it again. Personal branding is your personal. Where is it again? It is your. Hold on, I just pasted it because this is going to be hilarious if I try to explain without just pasting it. So it's what you project out there. It's what people think about you. In fact, one of the great presentations I saw some time back actually gave it so well. They said who you are, what the public think of you, has an intersection. That intersection is your brand. That's so interesting. So it's between what you are and what the public think you are. And so there is a deliberate but very important component that has to be seriously followed here. And this component cannot be ignored. So once again, personal branding is your personal public reputation and how you are viewed by the outside world. So if you mess this up, I'll highlight it later, but if you mess this up, it can affect you all your life. Now, since your personal public reputation is about who you want to become, it is thus very important to ensure that you are very deliberate about your online and professional outlook. Very deliberate. Okay, this includes your images, videos, online social media accounts, and any other such items. So Jane Banda had great skill and competence to offer, but she was not mindful of what she posted regularly on social media, and thus ended up costing her an advancement opportunity. You must ensure that what you express and showcase as part of your brand is true to your core values, okay, and speaks to your mission to such an extent, okay, to such an extent that you are willing to stand by those views regardless of the cost. Now that's very important. And I'm going to come in with this, especially for myself, and then we're going to go into the actual branding itself. And I want to show you why this is so important. Okay, do remember though, we say in our language, I'll call this part. Do remember though that this will inevitably form part of your brand appeal and will go ahead of you as far as reputation is concerned. So whatever values you have, you must be willing to stand for them. Okay, so what some other people do is they then create aliases on social media and communicate using those, which is a bit cowardice-like, in my opinion. But not everybody has the skin and resilience that we do, so they're not willing to do that. So, but I can tell you, this is the most powerful way in which you can really establish who you are. Now, so then, how do you develop your personal brand and perception to the public? This is best achieved by working toward developing your what I call KLT, know, like, trust. In short, you want to get them to experience the quality of that service through the various free social media interactions, or what we call sampling, you make. That's where they get to like you. And then when they have benefited from those interactions, they will begin to trust you as an expert. Your ability to stay consistent in the management of your online and offline reputation has a direct impact on your perceived expertise and authority. And do remember that this leads to confidence in what you offer by those who follow you wherever they may be. And do not forget that anyone who has a large following is perceived as an authority. That's another very interesting thing, especially if that following is substantially numerous. So anything above 20,000 followers on any platform is considered an expert. They are considered an authority. So whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whichever space you're in, if you've got 20,000 plus, usually you're considered, in fact, most places they from 10,000 going up, you're considered already a bit of an authority. 100,000, you are an established authority. And 1 million, you are indisputably an authority. Whatever that field is, whether it's nonsense or it's practical, because nonsense and practical is relative to whoever. So whatever it is, but once you hit those kind of numbers, you get some kind of reputation, and people do definitely consider you an authority. Now, you must therefore get rid or keep totally private all information, pictures, or interactions that aren't beneficial to your public image. Now, that's very important. So if you're one of those that enjoys having binges over the weekend with alcohol and all sorts of things, make sure you never post that stuff on social media. Just make sure you never do. Do not do pictures at granddaddy's, check us out, having a drink. Do not do stuff like that. Just keep all your private stuff private. In fact, some people, what they do is they have a page which is open separately, handling their so-called reputation, and then they put a private profile and they keep it private. And some people just don't even post their private stuff online. For me, the internet is monstrous when it comes to memory. So you just don't want to be posting anything because it will come back to haunt you. Okay, so remember that. Remember that this is not a one-day thing, but then if one remains deliberate and consistent with this, it won't take long before you exude a powerful and professional brand. Okay, anyone who manages this well will always stay ahead of their peers, and it thus pays to have a professional brand strategy in place that you can stick to over time. So I'm going to get into that just now, but I just want to do a detour and speak about myself. Rev Walter Mwambazi, what kind of reputation comes to mind? And let me do a little social experiment here. A number of you are watching this. I want you just to type what you think about Rev Walter, because this is going to be a powerful way for us to prove a point. Positive or negative, just post it. One of the so take your time. I'm waiting for you. Just write what you think when you hear the name Rev Walter Mwambazi. What comes to mind? What picture do you get? What image or brand do you think I'm carrying? What do you think my reputation is when you say Rev Walter Mwambazi? Those who know me, those who know about me, those of you who maybe are just now bumping into me. What's that initial impression? And a number of you have interacted with me, so of course you're quite you know me now in a very different way. See those who've gotten close to me, but there are those who just watch me from afar. Who is Rev Walter in your books? Please write that down. I would love to see that. Okay, so there's one. Shupi says energy. That's what I have, energy. That's an interesting view. So we'll keep seeing whatever others think. Then this other one here. This man, the man who seeks to understand information in its deeper context. Thank you, C. Banda. That's what he says. That is C or she, I'm not sure. Victor Conde says Rev Walter is highly learned and talks about and likes to talk about a lot of things. Then Thompson Kapotwain, Mwami there says a thought-provoking leader. Then Mbina GD says consistently reliable. Tresford Chikwanda, my man, fitness and physiotherapy expert, vast knowledge. So these are some of the views that people have of who I am. Now let me tell you something very interesting that you may not be aware, because you're giving really nice positive feedback. Here's one of the negative feedbacks I've gotten back. I'm considered that I speak too much. I speak my mind. And because I speak my mind, I offend people. So that's one of the things that has happened to me. I've found myself in a very strange space. I am a corporate trainer and leader, but I speak my mind on a lot of issues. And because of that, I am considered a bit too controversial. The other day, it was very interesting. Actually, my own radio station told me, they said, Rev, we can't get a sponsor on your platform because you are very controversial. That's interesting. Norman says wide researcher. Nice to know. Kapemba says knowledgeable. Very nice. That's what Tresford said as well. Good speaker, my sister Anba Chaita. And then Tiwonga Zeke says loves how you simplify stuff. Awesome. So now, do you know that even my radio station guys told me, Rev, you're too controversial. We can't give you a program because what's going to happen, they will stifle you, they will gag you. You won't be able to speak. And we like the way is how you speak your mind. So we want to give you that freedom. Can you imagine? That's the radio station. So they say I'm controversial. One of my good friends said, we can't associate with you because you're going to put us in trouble because you speak too many things, which are very, very touchy. Another one told me, you are the man who likes attacking pastors. Like, wow, I attack pastors? Yes, you like attacking pastors. You like attacking other churches. So you see, it's very interesting. Now, these qualities of mine have cost me. They have cost me. They have cost me opportunities. They have cost me jobs. I've had jobs which were canceled at the last minute because they said, "Oh, Rev Walter." No, just like my reputation has also gotten me jobs. It has gotten me opportunities. It has gotten me to speak to some very high people in the land. Very high people. Like I'm talking about as high goes. And because of my reputation. So I've had to learn to balance between my true values and being true to the core. Very, very hard thing to do. And it has cost me because there's nobody who's going to be true to their values who it's not going to cost them. So you got to ask yourself, what are you willing to pay to be true to yourself? And this is one thing that Mindset Change teaches so much. My own Unleashing Prosperity for Your Soul. These are things we talk about. Are you true to yourself? What are your core values? Are you willing to die for your core values? Or will you be wishy-washy? Mandela made a great statement the other day. I love, well, okay, it's not the other day, many years ago. but it's a great statement. Mandela said, and I quote, "A man whose position changes on account of those he perceives will benefit him, or a man who speaks things that are relative to what they perceive to be a benefit from those that they are with, is not fit to be a leader." I love that. In short, there are people today who will change their position on account of what they think they are going to gain. They are so scared. They would rather give up their, for example, they would rather talk about giving up their Christianity or giving up their faith because they think what they're going to say will offend people. So, for example, one area that has cost me is my position on LGBT. I don't mince my words. I don't go round circles. I speak about it openly. In this day and age of being politically correct, that's cost me. Okay, it's cost me. So Infa says, you raise an excellent point. Consistency is key to building a strong, reliable brand that can be challenging to maintain long term. Okay, Rev Walter, what do you find to be most effective strategy for people to develop consistency? That's what I want to do. I'm going to do a presentation just now. Who was that spoke? Infa. I'm going to do a presentation just now, and we will go into the brand consistency just now. But I just want to stress this point, ladies and gentlemen. Rev Walter here, this man you see here, it has cost me to be where I am. And I'm not talking just about costing me in terms of the resources in time, knowledge, insight, input, money. No, I'm talking about opportunities as well. You see, when you stand for anything in life, you will be opposed. And the bigger you become, the more you will definitely be opposed. And this in itself, Uncle Steve has just made me laugh. He says, there's a lot in Rev's brain. I guess that's after Wilson Marimba said, extremely informed man and very good with speech. So he's saying, Uncle Steve says, too much in my brain. And he's not the only one who said that. The other day I was with another very, very high level gentleman in the country. And they were like, you know, the level of thinking you have, Rev, is brilliant. We need you in certain circles. I just can't say much. So here it is, gentlemen. So, and ladies, I'm going to now go into this brand consistency, but I just wanted to emphasize one thing. Choose what you stand for and be willing to die for it. For me, if you can't stand for something, then you will fall for anything. Yes, if you can't stand for something, you will fall for everything and anything. And that means the quality of your brand will be commensurate to your willingness to be a sellout. Are you a sellout? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, brand is brand. If you're making money, you're making money. But for me, I think values are more important than even just money. Because then I have to be known for something. I have to be known to stand for something. This is why I have very big issues, for example, with a number of our politicians who keep hopping back and forth. Today, they are UPND, tomorrow they are PF. Sorry, this is the only political part I'm going to talk in this. We don't do politics on this platform, but today they are PF, tomorrow they are UPND, the next day they are MMD, the other day they are, Socialist Party. Stand for something. Just take one position, stand and run with it. And be known for being a man or woman of substance. But many of them, in the words of, I digress. So let's go into brand awareness. So number one, so enhancing brand recognition is crucial for business to stand out in a competitive market. And so here are 7 qualities I will go through, and I will go through them in detail, but let me just name them so that you know them. And then if we don't finish, we can finish next week. But at least for those of you on the show today, you'll hear. Number 1, consistent branding. We'll talk about that. Then number 2, unique value proposition. That was what I was emphasizing earlier on. Number 3, quality products and services, whatever it is you offer. 4, content marketing. Extremely important. Extremely important. Number 5, social media engagement. Auntie Sylvia says, Rev unleashes change agent and influencer. Yes, I do my best, Auntie Sylvia. So social media engagement. Number 6, influencer marketing. These are so important. You have no idea. Listen to me. Take a pen and paper, because this stuff I'm dropping is worth 3,000 kwacha easy in a workshop. And number 7, customer feedback and adaptation. This is another area a lot of brand managers miss. That number 7 right there. Because it's not just about what you think. It's also about accommodating what people think. Because at the end of the day, whatever they think matters. So let's go to number 1, consistent branding. Now, maintain a consistent brand identity across all touch points. So let's talk about the touch points. What are touch points? You've got your logo, your color scheme, your typography, and your messaging. So these are touch points, okay? And consistency helps build a strong and easily recognizable brand. So let's talk about that. So logo, do you have a logo? You don't even have to have a logo. As long as your name is recognizable, that in itself becomes a trademark. So the key now lies in how well are you consistently pushing out the same logo. So for us, I've got several, entities. There's Rev Walter. Now, Rev Walter, I haven't really come up with anything that's branded on Rev Walter as a logo, but I have Prosperity Insights, which is the yin and yang like thing with yellow and black and an eagle landing there. That's called, and it says Prosperity Insights. So that little logo in gold, which is like yellow and black, that's our logo for the Rev Walter. So when I use Rev Walter, I use Prosperity Insights, and they kind of go together. And then I've got Destiny Peak Pro. Destiny Peak Pro is the company. You've got the eagle landing, again, an eagle, and the gold in the words Destiny Peak Pro. So that's something I've been running with for the last almost 10 years. So that is consistent. And I do have what we call the hex codes. These are codes that I use to determine the type of color. It's called palette. So you need that. So any one of you listening to me right now and you don't have a consistent color, you need to get one. That's why it's important to engage, what are they called, brand experts and graphics people, so that they get you the hex codes, and then you know what your yellow looks like, or what your red is, or what your blue is. Because if you don't do that, then you have this brand inconsistency. The blue is lighter there, it looks like sky blue. Then over there it's looking like, aqua, green, and then over there it looks, sort of like royal blue. Like, which is it? Which is it? So you need to be very, very consistent in this area, because a lot of people miss it. So logo, make sure you have one. If you had one of those really crappy looking logos made by some dodgy, marketplace a long time ago, and it just doesn't suit anymore, go back and revisit it, rebrand. And you don't have to rebrand by launching out in public. You can just go and have a new one done and then rebrand to that new one and stick with that. So that's number one. Color scheme, I've told you. Typography, that means what they call the font. That's very, very important. A lot of people also miss that, because there are hundreds of fonts out there. And so you need to decide which is your font, which is the font you're running with for your logo. So don't have Times New Roman today, then tomorrow you have Verdana, the other day you have Schema, the other day you have, no. Be Arial, Narrow, Arrow. No, choose one particular brand font and stick with that font. So when they give you when they ask you, so what are your font touch points? You tell them, our hex code for our yellow is this number here, our black is that number there, our fonts we use is this one, and our size is this on header paper, and that. So have that little card. We call it the brand kit. That's what it's actually called in the real circles, brand kit. So in future, when you expand and become a big name and you have a shop and people come in, you have your logo right there on the reception area. You need to make sure that that's consistent. That yellow there is the same yellow on the paneling. It's the same yellow on the car branding. It's the same yellow on the t-shirts. It's the same yellow wherever. So make sure that that is consistent. So this is very, very important, because that's what becomes memorable. When people see that, automatically they know. Check everything around you. It's branded. Whether it's your phone, whether it's your laptop, whether it's your kettles, whatever it is, everything has brand consistency. So this is very, very important, because then you recognize it. So everybody, when they see the words Coca-Cola, you've seen that special Coca-Cola font. Everybody knows that font. So that's what I'm talking about. So because it's got a certain slant, it's got a certain way it's written, and they've been writing that for the last 100 plus years in the same way. So do not change that. So that's number one. Number two, I'll end on number two today. Unique value proposition. So clearly define what sets your brand apart from your competition. Highlight your unique selling points and communicate them effectively to your target audience. So value proposition is a big deal. There is a little exercise we like to carry out, which we call in our circles the customer value journey. So when customers come and walk through your brand and walk through your service, or walk through your premises, or walk through your offering, what is their experience as they walk through? What are you offering them that really stands out and makes them want to come back? What makes you stand apart from your competition? That's what we mean when we talk about value proposition. So you got to ask yourself this question. This is a big deal. And if you don't get this one right, you mess everything up. So value proposition is extremely important, and that value must be clearly understood. It must stand out, and it must set you apart. So for example, what do you, I know it's not very nice to use these examples, but this particular one, but I have to, because you know what, it's a known one, it's an easy one to recognize. You realize that when Vatra, Trade King's water, came on the market, there was already other water brands, right? Like, and they were really cutthroat, trying to get into the market everywhere, right? Exactly. So you had Aqua Vita, you had Aqua Savannah, you had Manzi, which were the kind of like pioneers. You know what I mean? There's enough water companies, but they came in and they dominated. And right now, Vatra is everywhere. So I'm not going to go into the marketing strategies they used to do market penetration, but I can share for you that they use the unique value proposition and association. They picked, and one of these big companies would normally do is pick brand ambassadors as well and run with those as well and lock them in, because they know their influences, and whatever that brand ambassador says or does is going to have an impact on what people do. So it's very important. So you'll notice product placement, all manner of things, and you imagine this is water, for crying out loud, water. At least people like us, we have very unique offerings on this platform of ours. There are not many you'll find like me, or like Sunshine, Coach Sunshine, or like Dr. Nelly, or like Dr. Jackie. We have unique offerings. But still, if people don't know your unique offering, you're useless. So you have to make your proposition known. You have to let everybody know what it is you bring to the table. And when you establish yourself in a profound and powerful way, it makes a huge difference. Let me close with this. One area I've been speaking a lot on, which I'm very passionate about, is marriage and family. Most of us on this platform do that a lot. We speak about marriage and family. Did you know that as a result of my speaking so much on family and marriage, I have gotten so many requests and people paying for the counseling that I'm offering right now in that space? You know why? Because I have given so much proposition on my platforms. And what I speak about is resonating with many people, both men and women and family. And many of them have asked me to go and speak and address groups in relation to relationships. Why? Because there is a unique value proposition. So which brings me to all of you watching us today as we close. What is your unique value proposition? Are you offering your value in a tangible and powerful way? And that's where social media comes in. We're going to talk about these things in our follow-up episode next week, when I'm going to go deeper into studying some of these other qualities. But today, let me wrap up by reminding you, what's your number one? Branding. Is there consistency to your branding? And number two, your unique value proposition. What are you offering your people out there? So on that note, tomorrow join Sunshine Sylvia, Coach, as she takes us through the next stage, which is going to be Mindset Change Program, another component, but I think she'll be speaking mostly about the upcoming event on Wednesday, which is so exciting. We are all on our leashes, literally can't wait to see what's going to happen on Wednesday, but I know it'll be exciting. And so from myself and the 730 Academy, we are so grateful that you join us as always. Make sure you remember to share this video. I noticed a number of you tag people. That's very, very good. Just let them know that we are here, we are available, and as the content is very, very good. And Victor asks a question on the last as we're closing. How does one identify their value proposition? By carrying out a deep assessment of your product and services, which the best products and services are aligned to your purpose. So why do you exist? What are you there for? Remember, your mission consists of your purpose, your service, and your work. So you must identify these properly. We help you do that by taking you through Unleashing Your Destiny. If you see it scrolling at the bottom. If you're serious, Victor, or anybody else, and you really want to know what your value proposition is, join and be part of what we're offering, and you will be able to learn. We have an offer there. Just go down there and click on the link, and you'll see, or send a message, and we'll show you. So once you understand your purpose and your service is what you are called to do, and then your work is how you do it. So this service, what you're called to do, this is where your value proposition comes. You see that? So once you understand this what you're called to do, why you exist, what you're called to do, how you do it. So those are the three, which is purpose, service, work, mission. That's what makes the mission. So that is what then determines the value proposition. So very, very important, huh? We are grateful for that and for that input. And at this point, I want to thank you all. Have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow. God bless.